Hey everybody, it is January 24th, 2008. I'm Sonic Sons, and I'm doing a bit of a tribute for the 10-year anniversary of the death of a man I never met. Indeed, whom I didn't know about until several years after his death. Someone whom I think deserves remembering. His name is Yoshifumi Kondō. Or in Japanese, your last name comes first, which would make him Kondō Yoshifumi. I don't think a whole lot of people have heard of him, but you may have heard of Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli, or however you want to pronounce it, and Hayao Miyazaki, and for that matter, Isao Takahata. Japanese animation studio that's made such wonderful things as Kiki's Delivery Service, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, these sorts of things. Well, Yoshifumi Kondō was a great animator. He worked at Studio Ghibli. He was an animation director for working on a few of their films, among them Kiki's Delivery Service, Only Yesterday, the amazing Princess Mononoke, and he directed one feature under them, Whisper of the Heart. And it's interesting to me, I look at the Miyazaki films, or the Ghibli films, really. Also often we just say Miyazaki films, as if he was the only man that made them. Well, he has other people working with him. Sometimes he's not even the director. I look at the Ghibli films, and I love them. I love them all so much. It's interesting to think about the creator's reality that exists behind them. All the little stories, all the memories, happy and sad, that went into making everything. Because all too often we see just the final product. At some point, you've got to look at how things were made, and I don't simply mean that in a technical, how it was made sense. I'm talking about heart, emotion. I'm talking about Yoshifumi Kondō, who died January 21st, 1998. And it was just yesterday I realized that this was just a few days after the 10th anniversary. He was 47 years old. On the medical reports, you'll see that he died of an aneurysm. And that's true. But it says something about truth, that there's more to it you ought to know. See, he worked himself to death. That's the real truth of it. That's the more important part, is whether or not it was an aneurysm. He was a man who wanted to create. You see, I don't know very much about him, so I won't pretend. But from what I've heard and read, he was a creative person. Wanted to animate. Had great skill and great passion for it. Great ideas. But in the context of the creation, there came certain pressures. Deadlines, particularly the level of quality that he always held himself to, that Ghibli holds itself to in general. Animators, at least at Ghibli, work very, very hard. I saw a thing, the making of Spirited Away, for instance. I only mention that because that's the only documentary of the making of one of their movies that I know of. But in that movie, for instance, they would go a good month at a time, never coming home before midnight. Eating all the meals there. Almost never leaving. Always working. And working for something good. Working, this isn't to make some money, or, some product that you don't actually care about. This is art. This is something real. It feels real to me anyway, and to millions of other people who've watched these films. There are pressures involved. I've spoken before about my aversion to stress. How in high school I actually developed a disorder because of that. And how I myself have creative ideas. But I'm trying to find the right way to pursue them. You see. I say to myself, I want to do things like Miyazaki does. And I do. To a point. But I don't want to have another Kondō on my hands. You know what I mean? I don't want the pressures. I don't want... I don't want all the sadness that comes from this man who died. And at the age of 47, is... And I guess some people die younger, but still. All too young, he died and was unable to make anything else. As he worked so hard and so long, and that which was right in front of him. And I think maybe if there'd been another way, surely there was another way. Surely we could have made the movies without the pain, or with less pain in the meantime, without the death of a great man.